Today I would like to present about entity relationship model. What is ERD? ERD or entity relationship model is a data model to create conceptual schemas for describing the data or information aspect of a business domain or its process requirement in abstract way. Component in ERD. ERD have three main components, which is first is entity. Entity is a component of data which contain people, place or thing that you want to track in database. It will group the object with the same properties. Second is attribute. Attribute will describe various characteristics about the entity. Number 3 is a relationship. Relationship will describe one or more identity interact with each other. Entity and attribute will be represented on the box, which is entity on the top of the box and attribute is in the second column. For example, product is an entity and product number, amount and brand is an attribute. To represent the relationship between the customer and the product, will be have one triangle from the customer to the product. For the sentences is one customer will be buy one too many product. So customer have its own attribute like customer ID, address and IC number. And product have their own attribute like product number, amount and brand. Customer ID is a primary key, which is a unique of the customer. And product also have their own primary key, which is product number. It will represent the unique of the product. Then is cardinality. Cardinality is to represent the relationship in terms of number, which is called multiplicity. In ERD, there are also several types of key. ERD have three types of key, which is first is primary key. Primary key is selected to uniquely identify each occurrence of an identity type. To select the primary key, the choice must based on attribute length, minimum number attribute required, and future certainty of uniqueness. The others two key is candidate key and composite key. Candidate key is minimal set of attributes that uniquely identify each entity type, while composite key is a candidate key that consists of two or more attributes. To example how to trace the key in the ERD. For the staff and branch, it have their own primary key, which will represent the uniqueness of each entity. The staff, the primary key is a staff number, while the branch, the primary key is branch number. The composite key is a candidate key that consists of two or more attributes. And the not selected primary key is also called as alternate key. The address and the postcode as composite attribute will become a composite key. Specialization and generalization. Specialization is a process of maximizing differences between members of an entity by their characteristic differences. And the generalization is a process of minimizing difference between entities by their common characteristic. And then constraint. They have two types of constraint. Firstly is participation constraint. Participation constraint will determine whether every member in superclass must participate as a member of a subclass. Secondly is disjoint constraint. Disjoint constraint will describe the relationship between members of the subclass and indicate whether member of a superclass can be one or more than one of the subclass. Now, let's see how to draw online shopping ERD. Now, I would like to show you how to create an ERD for online shopping. In my ERD, I have 5 main entity, which is customer, product, payment, payment slip, and owner. On customer, product, payment, payment slip, and owner is an entity. That's why it is located on the top of the box. In the second column of the box will be located an attribute. The customer, product, payment, payment slip, and owner have the different attribute with each other. Now, I would like to show you about the attribute and the relationship. The attribute of the customer is username, password, full name, email, phone number, birth date, gender, and handphone number. For the product, the attribute is product code, brand, color, sold amount, price, product name, time left, view of the product, location, available amount, and type. For the owner, the attribute is company name, product code, stock, brand, and type of product. For the payment, the attribute is account number, customer name, address, product ID, bank name, email, phone number, and amount. And lastly, for the payment slip, the attribute is account number, amount, payment method, and date payment. For the relationship, customer have a relationship with product which is purchased. So, minimum one customer can buy or purchase minimum one to many product. Product also have a relationship with owner which is delivered by. Minimum one product can be delivered by minimum one and maximum many owner because the product have brand, so each brand have different owner. The customer also have a relationship with payment which is minimum one customer and can make a payment minimum one and maximum one because each customer only can make one payment even though he or she buy many things. Customer also have a relationship with payment slip, which is after make a payment, customer get the payment slip. So minimum one customer can get minimum one and maximum one payment slip. The payment also have a subclass which is online transfer and credit card. The constraint is mandatory because the customer only can make a payment using online transfer and credit card. The customer must choose either online transfer or credit card. That's why the constraint is OR. The difference between online transfer and credit card is online transfer have account number and payment detail, while credit card have credit card number, expired date, CVV number, bank country, and type of card. The different make the payment have the subclass because it can't be same. The product also have a subclass which is electronic device, fashion, and food and beverage. The constraint of the product is optional because there are other group of product which is have the same characteristic. The difference between three characteristics or group of the product is for electronic device, it have storage, CPU, size of RAM, while fashion have size, pattern, and style. And lastly, for food and beverage, it have expired date, manufacturing, and ingredient. It contains also or because the electronic device can't be same with fashion. Lastly, when you see the customer and the product, the cardinality is one to many and one to many. When it is many and many, it will make appear another one entity. Here, I'm choose order because the customer will be order the product. So, in the order, it have product code, product date, amount, and quantity, which is will replace the many to many between the customer and the product. The product and the owner also many to many, which is will produce another one entity which is delivery. Delivery also have their own attribute which is tracking number, company name, address, customer name, and date of the delivery. The product will be delivered by the owner. So, because of many to many, it will produce another entity. In other way is when the many to one, it will produce a foreign key. Foreign key is the primary key of the one will be placed in the many at the bottom. For example, the customer and the payment, many, one. So, the primary key of the payment is account number will be placed in the customer entity at the bottom, which is account number, and it will in the bracket there is a foreign key. For the customer and payment slip also have a foreign key, which is when the many one. So the customer also must take the primary key of the payment slip, but the primary key is same account number and account number. So the customer just not must not write two times. Customer, product, payment, and owner, and also payment slip. All the entity have their own primary key. For customer, the primary key is username. When customer sign in to the account, the username must be different from each other. So, the username is a unique for the customer. For the product, The primary key is product code. This is because each product have its different code. So, the product code is the uniqueness of the product. For the owner, the primary key is company name because the product have many brands. So, the company name must be different with each product. So, the company name is the primary key. For the payment slip, the account number is the primary key because each customer have the different account number. So, the account number is the uniqueness for the payment slip and for the payment because the account number must be different with other people. That's all from me. Thank you.